Hello, thank you for joining us on this episode of Sports Bets for Free. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host. Just a local sports bettor here in Phoenix, Arizona, and hopefully today with our bets and your bets, it's going to be another profitable day for you. College football week 11 Saturday show, so we've got a big slate of games for Saturday. I'm super excited to get through all of these with you guys. Want to welcome back everybody that's been watching our show for some time, or if you're new, welcome aboard as well. Excited for all this going on. All of our episodes here on YouTube brought to you by the world's #1 sports betting app, Outlier. You will find a 7-day free trial link in the comments section, as well as the YouTube channel page and our private Discord channel available. A couple hundred plus members in there who love doing the same thing you do. It's called sports wagering. Get all of our bets early. Get ahead of line moves, juice moves. Get ahead of all that stuff. Get our unit sizes as well, so you know where the big bets are, so you can go play in those. Take advantage. Inexpensive. If you're wagering well over a couple $100 a month, and if you're watching this show for more than 30 seconds, I almost guarantee you are, make sure you take advantage of the Discord channel. You can find that link in the comments section as well as the YouTube channel page. So let's get started with Saturday, as we've got a big slate of college football. And we're going to get started at the noon Eastern time frame window. We'll get started early. Indiana, Penn State. Indiana going on the road to Happy Valley. They're about what? They were 14.5, now 15.5 point favorite, 48.5 total. I'm going to tell you right now, Indiana has been super duper impressive. That win, by the way, in Oregon in that rainstorm was fantastic. Their run game's been good. Their defense is better than last year. Offensively, they're scoring just as many points as they were last year, even though different quarterback. I like what they're putting together there. Now, do they have enough to beat Ohio State later in the year? I don't know. I don't know, but great chance to make the college football playoff. They did, like I said, that win against Oregon is probably going to put them in, even if they flub some stuff up. But we love Indiana in this spot here. We'll give you all the plays here in this one. Indiana laying 2.5 first quarter. 7.5 first half, 14.5 for the game. Next game up, top 10 matchup in Lubbock, noon Eastern time frame. Texas Tech at home against BYU. BYU figures out how to win games consistently and often. Texas Tech's been really good, except when the starting quarterback's been down. That's been really the only thing keeping them from perfection so far this year. I understand BYU's, I don't think, as talented as Tech, but team-wise, they're fantastic, and they're good in all phases, special teams, defense, and offense. This line is at 10.5. This line is way too big. I understand. I think Tech's got a great chance to win this game, but 10.5? I don't see it. I mean, that's a lot of points. Like I said, BYU's been living on a little bit of razor's edge, but giving them 10.5, I'm in. BYU plus 3.5 first quarter, 6.5 first half. And then, as we mentioned, that 10.5 for the game. Next game up, another noon Eastern time frame game. When do we ever see Georgia play at this time frame? We don't. They're favored 7.5, 8.5, depending on where you're getting it. Again, at Mississippi State, 57.5 total here. I don't think Georgia's got enough to, let's say, to win the – and this line's actually steamed up 2 points. I don't think Georgia's got enough to win the national championship, but they are good enough to maybe win the SEC. It wouldn't shock me in the least if they end up pulling that out. They've had some impressive wins. I mean, that Tennessee win was big. You know, I'm not a big Gunnar Stockton guy overall, but I think they got more than enough firepower to beat Mississippi State. Just 2 plays for us in this one, as we don't play ever Georgia in the first quarter. Georgia minus 3.5 first half and minus 6.5 for the game. Like I said, that line getting to 8.5. If you want to play in it, I think an alternate line is definitely a must-have there for you in that one. Next game up, Colorado, West Virginia. So West Virginia upset last week over Houston. They are favored at home by 6.5, 54.5 total. Now, they did get, special teams help, defense help, the touchdowns, all that kind of stuff. But they still figured out a way to continue to score points against Houston in that defense. I think they can score some points here. I definitely think that one. Colorado should be able to put up a few as well. That total of that totals where we're going to go hunting at 54.5. Over 9.5 first quarter, 27.5 first half, and 54.5 for the game. Next game up, we get SMU and Boston College. How SMU favored by 10.5 on the road at BC. I understand maybe a little bit of rain in this game. Should be a little bit colder. Obviously, we're in November now. 55.5, really? Doesn't that seem like a big number there? That's where we're going hunting here. Under in this one for us is BC can't score, and SMU has struggled to score on the road. BC SMU under 13.5 first quarter, 28.5 first half, 55.5 for the game. Another noon Eastern time frame. Seems like we're in all these noon Eastern time frame games. Marshall hosting James Madison. James Madison laying 13.5 on the road. James Madison's offense has been exploding over the last few weeks. We really like what James Madison's doing here. Marshall tends to give up points. They gave up a bunch late in the second half of last week's game. That cost them a cover, but they should be able to score a little bit here as well. That total at 50, what are we at? 55.5. We really like the over here. James Madison and Marshall, we got this at 54.5, so need to get on top of this before it gets out of control. 9.5 first quarter, 27.5 first half, and 54.5 for the game. As we continue to roll through college football week 11 Saturday, let's get to it again. Temple and Army next game up, noon Eastern. So this game I think is pretty close. I think Army, like our handicap was basically them at a touchdown, and they've got 6.5s on the board everywhere I've looked. 46.5 total. Don't know what Temple can do, to kind of win this game here. They're on the road. Army plays tough. Army got a really nice win last week against Air Force as well. No play for us in this one, but would lean to the Army side of things. Next game up, Southern Miss, Arkansas State. Southern Miss, if they were at home, I'd play them -10. They're on the road, 4.5 here. Not too bad of a number, but Arkansas State does play somewhat decent at home, 56.5 total. We'd still have to lean here to Southern Miss. Ohio State and Purdue. Okay, so Ohio State, obviously best team in the country. They've been playing well. They really haven't, they played Texas early in the season, but who have they really played too much since then? Not really a bunch. Julian Salem looks awesome. Jeremiah Smith's awesome. They don't run the ball as well as they've done in years past, but the defense has played really well with Patricia at the defensive coordinator position. So total, line in this one's 29.5, which I think is a monster on the road. I know it's Purdue, 47.5 total. We're just going to go to play the total in this one's where we're at. Ohio State, Purdue over 7.5 first quarter, 23.5 first half, and then 47.5 for the game. Next game up, Missouri State and Liberty. I think this line's a little bit big, but a little bit too close to call for us on the number anyway. Liberty favored by 7.5 here. Liberty got a nice win last week, but they haven't been blowing anybody out. Missouri State probably figures out a way to keep this thing somewhat close. I think it boils down to a touchdown. So no play for us, but we would lean to the Missouri State things at 1 o'clock Eastern time frame. Bowling Green, Eastern Michigan. So Bowling Green's got the backup quarterback again. Obviously, he sucked last week. That was kind of painful, but we made it up in other ways. That UNLV over kind of saved us as we went back to the well on that one again. But Eastern Michigan favored by 2.5 here. To be really honest, the easiest play probably in this game, if Bowling Green's got the backup quarterback, is going to be under 50.5. No play for us, but that's the way we'd lean. UAB and Rice. Rice at home favored by 2.5. You got two bad teams here, 53.5 total. Let's see, two bad teams normally is going to lead to what? An over probably. No play for us in this one either, but would lean to that over 53.5. Maryland and Rutgers. Rutgers at home, 1.5-point dog. Wow. Right? Interesting number there. Don't really like this one either. We're in a lot of games, but it seems like this mid-pack here, we definitely don't like too much of this, what's going on. Slightly lean to Maryland there, but don't really like that one at all either. 3 o'clock Eastern time frame. Charlotte, East Carolina. We got a little piece of East Carolina's offense last week because they were fantastic. I've seen Charlotte put up some points. They did against South Florida. They put up a few points here. The total's only at 56.5. This is one of those games I think East Carolina's got a great chance to cover that number by themselves or damn close to it. East Carolina, Charlotte, over 9.5 first quarter. 27.5 first half. 56.5 for the game in that one. Love what East Carolina's doing offensively. Louisiana Tech and Delaware. Delaware at home getting 5.5. No play for us in this particular one either. Would lean to Delaware getting plus the points, but nothing. It's just too close to call. We're looking for line variance, and we think the book's pretty close to it. No reason to play in that game. There's all kinds of college football games to play in. Next game up, Jacksonville State and UTEP. I can't believe UTEP's actually – I know they're at home here. Jacksonville State's been solid for us all season long. They're only favored by 1.5 here. I think they constantly are – I don't know if it's just the way the bookmakers think of their road team, but they're more than good enough to cover 1.5 in this particular spot. Are you freaking kidding me? And you can get the money line at a steal here too. So Jacksonville State, money line first quarter, money line first half, and money line for the game. Next game up, FIU. I'm sorry, no, forget that one here. 3 o'clock Eastern time, FAU and Tulsa. So one of those games, again, it's a couple teams here that are relatively close, but Florida Atlantic, Tulsa on the road's been I want to say gonna go with that. FAU at home, though, I think they win this thing by a touchdown. Therefore, that 3.5 is really going to come into play for us here. FAU money line first quarter, money line first half, and then 3.5 for the game. Then that next game up is FIU and Middle Tennessee State. Middle Tennessee State actually getting a 1.5 at home. No shocker there. They're not good. FIU, it's been a very suspect, especially over the last month. No play for us in this one. Slightly lean to FIU because Middle Tennessee figures out a way to shoot themselves in the foot continuously. Let's get to the 3:30 Eastern time frame game. Oregon on the road at Iowa. They're 6.5-point favorite going to Iowa City. I expect Iowa to hang pretty tough in this one, especially in the first half. The problem is they can't really stop the run. Oregon definitely wants to run the ball. I don't know if they can stop Oregon too much of anything. The question is can they keep up and score with them? They might be able to keep up scoring-wise in the first half, but Oregon really needs to put the hammer down here. I think there's going to be opportunities over the top as well as running the ball. You can always seem to get Iowa on the edges as well. Running up the middle might not be the best way to take advantage of them, but on the edge, you can normally get them with the speed there. Oregon money line first quarter, -3.5 first half, and then 6.5 for the game. Next game up, Texas A&M. Can you believe they're top 3 team in the country? Okay, at Mizzou, tough place to play. Alabama found out about this earlier. They couldn't cover 3.5 there. Now you're expecting Texas A&M to come in and cover 7.5? No, thanks. Give us all in Mizzou we can get here at the 7.5. Now, it is 7 at some books. Some books still 7.5. Mizzou plus 1.5 first quarter, 3.5 first half, and 7.5 for the game. Next game up, Arizona and Kansas, also that 3:30 Eastern time frame window. This game played down in Tucson. Wildcats favored by 4.5 over the Jayhawks here, 56.5 total. We saw both these teams have been playing a lot of bigger scoring games here, and we're only seeing a 56.5 total. This one was pretty easy for us. We'll just go attack that total. KU, Arizona over 10.5 first quarter, 27.5 first half, 46.5 for the game. Next game up, 3:30 time frame as well, Eastern time frame. TCU and Iowa State, 2 teams that have figured out how to struggle here in the middle of the season. I expected Iowa State to be much better than this after their big win, especially week 0. in Ireland. Then they come back and beat Iowa. TCU lost to Kansas State. They have not been playing well. TCU favored by 6.5, 57.5 total. No play for us. Would lean to TCU and the over in that one as well. Next game up, Syracuse and Miami of Florida. So we know Syracuse is really bad. What the hell's happened to Miami as of late? Like, really? Okay. I can't play Miami in a 28.5 point favorite, and definitely don't want no part of Syracuse. No play for us in that one. Maybe lean to the under because I don't think Syracuse is going to score many of anything. That is at 45.5. If Syracuse puts up a touchdown there, probably more than be expected. Next game up, Duke and UConn, also at 3:30 Eastern time. Duke almost favored by 10, headed to UConn there. UConn's played well, but they haven't faced anybody like Duke. The problem with playing Duke is when they turn the ball over ridiculously like they have, they end up losing games they should win. So no play for us with Duke and UConn. You know what? UConn plus the 9.5 would be our slight lean. Next game up, 4 o'clock Eastern time frame. Vanderbilt and Auburn. Vandy at home, where they're really good. Only favored by 6.5 in this particular spot. Auburn can't score. I mean, we've seen this for multiple weeks where they cannot score points. And one thing Vandy can do is score some freaking points. I know Auburn's defense is no joke, but I think Vandy easily covers this number here. Vandy minus a half first quarter, 3.5 first half, and 6.5 for the game. Next game up, Kennesaw State, New Mexico State. I really want to play Kennesaw State here at 4 o'clock Eastern time, but this line at 9.5 is ridiculous. If it's 6.5, it's probably worth the play. If you want a little bit of an alternate line there, total at 52.5. No play for us. Would lean, like I said, I'd figure out how to get Kennesaw State at 6.5 instead of 9.5. All right, next game up. We've got Georgia State and Coastal Carolina, 4 o'clock Eastern time frame as well. Coastal in a rare position where they're a 7.5 point favorite. That's how bad Georgia State's played. 57.5 total. Their defense is Swiss cheese. Coastal Carolina, we didn't play it, but we wouldn't lean that direction as well in that one. Next game up, 4:30 Eastern time frame. We are in this one. Washington travels to Wisconsin. Washington is 11.5 point favorite, and there's a 45.5 total. How bad has the Wisconsin offense been? Good. Not good, right? They got shut out multiple games. Washington's offense is not spectacular either. The Wisconsin defense, I think, can hold up against Washington here. So this is an underplay for us. No reason to sweat aside. Washington and Wisconsin under 9.5 first quarter, 23.5 first half, and then 45.5 for the game. The next game up, Stanford, North Carolina. Can somebody please explain to me how the hell North Carolina is favored by 7.5 against anybody? They can't. They rarely can score points. Defense has played well, but really? Okay. Even though it's Stanford, and even though Stanford's on the road, I got to take the 7.5 in my pocket here. Stanford plus 1.5 first quarter, 4.5 first half, and then 7.5 for the game. Next game up, Texas State, Louisiana. Really would like to play Texas State here at 5 o'clock Eastern time frame, but we are going to hold off here. 64.5 total. They might get to over 64.5. Would lean Texas State here, but no play for us in this one. 6 o'clock Eastern time frame in this one. Air Force on the road at San Jose State. San Jose State has finally woken the hell up. They're 5.5, 4.5 point favorite, depending on what book you're at here. And we do like San Jose State in this one. Air Force just running out of defensive players. Minus a half first quarter, 2.5 first half, and 4.5 for the game there for San Jose State. Next game up. We've got Wake Forest in Virginia. So Virginia's got a really good record, like money line, but they are just been not so great against number. Wake Forest did pull off that win against SMU. Virginia's at home, 6.5 point favorite. This is a team they should beat up. They should win this thing by 2 touchdowns. If they don't, they're going to be one of those teams that's like they're going to end with a really good record, and then all of a sudden they're going to play a good team and just get absolutely smashed. So Virginia in this one for us, minus a half first quarter, 3.5 first half, and then 6.5 for the game. Next game up, we got a lot of plays for college football Saturday. Crazy stuff, I know, right? Cal and Louisville here. Louisville favored by almost 3 touchdowns. Louisville's big win over Miami earlier when they picked Carson Beck off 4 times. Offensively, they played fine. Cal's not any threat to him, I don't think, on the offense or defensive side of the ball here at 7 o'clock Eastern time frame. All of Louisville here is what we're on. Louisville minus 2.5 first quarter, 10.5 first half, and then 20.5 for the game. Next game up, Florida State going to Clemson. Clemson's actually a favorite here. Congratulations, Clemson Tigers. How Dabo still has a job sometimes, I just don't know. I think Florida State, they played really well last week. They seem to get their mojo back here a little bit. Florida State money line for us. We're going to take a little plus money in this one. Florida State money line, first quarter, first half, and then game as well. Next game up, LSU, Clemson. No, LSU, Alabama, 7:30 Eastern time frame. This game played in Tuscaloosa. Alabama laying 10.5, depending on what book you're at, 49.5 total. Everybody, I know Brian Kelly gets fired, and Alabama's played well, but we really think like this is not going to be a defensive battle. This is such a rivalry game here. 10.5 is a monster number for a rivalry game. Maybe LSU's fired up. We're hoping. LSU plus 3.5 first quarter, 6.5 first half, and then 10.5 for the game. Like I said, I just think 10's too many. I still think Bama wins, just not by more than 10. Navy, Notre Dame laying 26.5 here. We stayed away from this game at 7:30 Eastern time, but these are 2 teams that play each other every year as well. I know Navy doesn't have enough horses to keep up and probably win this game, but maybe they keep this thing within 26.5. 7:30 Eastern time frame, Florida and Kentucky. Kentucky getting 3 at home. Nobody trusts Florida. Nobody trusts Kentucky. Therefore, no play for us. I guess we'd have to lean to Kentucky or lean to Florida, but don't want any piece of that. Then we get to Utah State and Nevada, 7:30 Eastern time frame. Utah State's had their issues here, but Nevada should not be one of them. Lines 8.5, 9.5, depending on where you're getting it. And we are on the Utah Staters here in this one. -0.5 first quarter, 4.5 first half, and 8.5 for the game. Next game up, Nebraska, UCLA, out in LA area, 9 o'clock Eastern time frame. Nebraska's getting points. Now, Nebraska, they haven't been as good as they hoped for. UCLA started off so horrible, then won like 2 games against Penn State and Michigan State. Now kind of maybe back where they were. Nebraska, this game's going to be probably back and forth. Wouldn't surprise it. Low total in this one as well at 43.5. But we do like the Cornhuskers here, and we don't need the point. We'll just play money line, get a little plus money in our pocket again. Nebraska money line first quarter. Nebraska money line first half. Nebraska money line for the game. UNLV and Colorado State, 9:30 Eastern time frame. Colorado State getting 4.5 at home. Total in this one, 61.5, 62.5, depending on what book you're at. Here's the easiest thing I can say about UNLV. Just play the over and you don't got to worry about it. Like, their defense is so frustrating because if they get a lead, they'll give it up. Or they're playing from behind because they didn't score on a drive. Next thing you know, their defense is giving up points like it's going out of style. Don't really want to play a side here, but we love the total over 61.5. So give us that total over 13.5 first quarter, 30.5 first half, and 31.5 for the game. 2 more games left on the board. Sam Houston and Oregon State. I know Oregon State got a win over Washington State last week. That was big, but 20.5 points here. I know Sam Houston's god awful, but really 20.5? No play for us here. We would lean to Sam Houston plus the points. Then we'll finish up the night. Hawaii gets a home game. Those are always fun. One of the more popular games ever bets when Hawaii's at home. Hawaii getting 7 at the house. San Diego State on the road, 50.5 total in this one. Hawaii is normally tough at home. San Diego State has looked really good, though. So I understand the line here at 7, but I'd have to get this at 6.5 in order to play it. But no play for us in this one. At 7, I think this thing's a push, to be really honest. All right, that's going to be a rundown of college football week 11 Saturday, as it's a monster slate of games. Hopefully you guys are all enjoying everything you can on Saturday. If you like what you're seeing here, do us a favor. Subscribe to the show, turn on notifications. It don't cost you a penny to do so. Just shows a little love for the creator. Like the episode, make a comment, something to that effect. Let us know that you're watching what you like and don't like. Would love to hear all of those. All of our shows here on YouTube brought to you by the world's #1 sports betting app, Outlier. Make sure you check out that 7-day free trial in the comments section or on our YouTube channel page, and our Discord channel available to all of you out there. We have monthly or weekly option. Like, monthly is going to be the cheapest by far, but if you want to just check it out for a week, you can do that as well. You can find that link in the comments section as well as the YouTube channel page. Check it out. Well worth your time. Get all of our plays early, get all our unit sizes, get bonus bets, get other cappers throwing stuff in, and have fun with a couple hundred plus people who love the same thing you do, and that's called sports wagering. We do appreciate everybody's support as always, and we look forward to seeing you on our next episode.